Today I decided to teach my dogs to sit, lay down and jump. Originally I started off by teaching them how to sit and lay down as it was a joint command, and eventually I brought in jumping. Through teaching Sasha and Charlie these skills, I am working through a few of the 5 theories of prospective learning. Within the theory of behaviouralist orientations to learning, it is said that the key to understanding learning could be found by analysing the behaviour of the subject. For example, due to having to teach 2 dogs at the same time, it proved very difficult because although they did listen, they also got distracted by each other's behaviour. Another example was when I was teaching them, Sasha already knew how to lay down quite well, whereas Charlie didn't. This impacted the way in which I was able to teach them, as I had to separate them to be able to teach Charlie a skill set that Sasha already had. This was one of the main complications I faced while teaching them. This ties into the cognitive orientations to learning, as Sasha and Charlie had to actively make sense of their experiences and modify their own thinking in response to the environmental demands. This was something I also had to do, as when they weren't responding to the first method of teaching I was presenting them, I had to adapt my teaching method in order for them to learn how to sit, lay down and jump. This cognitive orientation to learning also interweaves with constructive orientations, as I was having to draw from past experiences in order to help make sense of why Sasha and Charlie weren't learning the tricks when using the first method of teaching. Past experiences helped me to understand a way in which I could adapt my teaching, as what I thought was the simplest way to retain information may not be for someone else, and therefore must be changed to suit their way of learning. Overall, I learned to be patient and calm when things didn't go the way I originally planned. This was brought on by how I had to separate the dogs in order for Charlie to learn a skill set that Sasha already had, and also when my first method proved ineffective. My first method was to teach only Charlie, as I knew he didn't know as much as Sasha already did. At the beginning this worked fine for about 5 minutes until Sasha started distracting Charlie as she wanted to join in. This was when I realised it would probably work better if both of them were learning these tricks, because they would be more focused on me and not on the dog that was barking inside because it couldn't join in. I actually found that as soon as I was teaching both dogs, they listened a lot more and also kind of helped each other, as Charlie was able to imitate Sasha lying down in order to get the treat. This is the end result of the dogs sitting, laying down and jumping. It took me about 3 hours with a few breaks in between to get to this point, and it is a massive improvement to where they were prior to this. Using all 3 theories of prospective learning talked about throughout the video, I was able to successfully teach Charlie and Sasha how to sit, lay down and jump.